Hello and welcome to the virtual meeting for the Muddy Mountains Special Recreation Area Travel Management Plan. My name is Christina Keacher and I work with Logan Simpson, a national environmental consulting firm. We completed the route inventory process and will be leading the public scoping, completing the evaluation of roads and trails, and eventually connecting the environmental assessment. Today, I'll be assisting the Bureau of Land Management to help facilitate this meeting. With me on the call today is Casey Smith, a senior GIS analyst and route inventory and evaluation specialist, as well as the BLM team from the Las Vegas field office. We're going to go over the meeting agenda, some ground rules, briefly before starting a presentation. After we go over the agenda, we'll introduce the BLM specialists that we have today on the webinar. I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded. To enable the use of closed captions, you can click on the live transcript button icon on your Zoom toolbar and then select Show Subtitles. During today's meeting, we're going to go over some meeting details, meet with the specialist, and then go into presentation. The presentation will review the planning area, details about the travel management planning process, and how it impacts you. Most importantly, how you can participate in the process. Once we've learned more about the planning effort, we'll provide a quick tutorial of our online comment mapping tool, and then move into a comment and answer session, followed by a public comment session. Your microphone will remain closed until the public comment session. Throughout the meeting, you can enter your questions in the question and answer box, and verbal questions will be taken at the end of the Q&A. We will answer the questions after the presentation, but go ahead and enter your questions throughout the presentation. During the public comment session, we will call on those that pre-registered for comments and then give others the opportunity to participate. We do ask that you avoid the use of inappropriate language in your question and answers and your verbal comments. All materials will be posted on the BLM's project website, the BLM National NEPA Register, after today's meeting. We'll put that link in the chat box. To review the participant tools, including the Q&A box, you may have to move your mouse to hover over the bottom of your screen. If you have any urgent questions or need technical assistance, you can enter your message in the Q&A box now, and our team will contact you. Or email Casey Smith at csmith@logansimpson.com. We will use the raise your hand feature during the public comment session. If we have any phone callers, we will give detailed instructions during the Q&A and comment sessions. Again, you can enable the closed caption by hovering over the transcript button at the bottom of your screen. Now, I'd like to pass it over to the Bureau of Land Management.
Thanks, Christina. And I'd like to welcome everyone tonight. My name is Steve Leslie, and I am the Assistant Field Manager for the Las Vegas field office. And as Christina said, today we are presenting on one of our projects. We are in the process of developing a travel management plan for the Muddy Mountains Special Recreation Management Area. The purpose of today's meeting is to provide you information on what the project is about and answer questions about the planning process. We also want to provide you an opportunity to provide verbal and written comments so that we have all that information as we move forward with developing the plan and creating alternatives for the environmental document. With me tonight, we have a few folks from the BLM. Kenny Kendrick is our project lead. We also have a number of folks who are going to be working behind the scenes, helping with the virtual meeting and with our question and answer period. We have Colleen Cepero Rios, our planning and environmental coordinator, Lillian Setters, our botanist, Jennifer Dirk, who is an archaeologist, Curtis Walker, who's a wildlife biologist. We also have some outdoor recreation planners, Jenna Giddens, and Aaron Hopler, who is also our wilderness specialist. I want to thank you again for joining us. The BLM is committed to ensuring engagement with all of you in the management of your public lands. The importance of the information that you provide through public comment can't be overstated. The Muddy Mountains planning area contains unique land features, such as colorful sandstone outcrops, rugged limestone cliffs and canyons. It is also home to sensitive cultural and natural resources. The planning area provides numerous recreation opportunities, including but not limited to off-highway vehicle use, equestrian use, hiking, camping. We also have special recreation permitted events such as motorcycle races, sightseeing, and OHV rock crawling, among others. The Muddy Mountains planning area is approximately 123,000 acres of Bureau of Land Management public lands located approximately 50 miles northeast of Las Vegas and approximately 25 miles southwest of Logandale in southern Nevada. The adjacent lands are managed by several land management entities, including the National Park Service with Lake Mead National Recreation Area, the Nevada Division of State Parks at Valley of Fire State Park. The Moapa River Indian Reservation is also nearby to the north. The planning area also includes and is bounded by parcels of private lands. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Kenny Kendrick, the BLM project lead, who will continue with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. As Steve mentioned, my name is Kenny Kendrick, and I'm the project lead for the Muddy Mountains Travel Management Plan. The Muddy Mountains area was designated as a special recreation management area in the 1998 Las Vegas Resource Management Plan. Due to the increase of recreational-based activities, has amplified the need to improve recreation management in the Muddy Mountains Special Recreation Management Area. Therefore, at this time, the BLM is proposing to do a travel management plan for the whole Muddy Mountains Special Recreation Management Area, with the exception of the Muddy Mountains Wilderness Area. The travel management plan will identify existing routes and trails in the Muddy Mountains area and determine the appropriate management for those routes. The travel management plan is an implemented level decision that will outline the travel network and designate routes. The travel management plan may also designate new routes to help meet the goals and objectives of the resource management plan. The travel management plan is comprised of 4 stages: the route inventory, the route evaluation, the planning, and then the implementation. I will go over these stages and where the BLM is currently at later on in this slideshow. The BLM will comply with the National Environmental Policy Act through the development of an environmental assessment that will evaluate the environment and all related social and economic efforts of the Muddy Mountains Travel Management Area. So, how can this plan potentially affect you? This plan will designate routes in the Muddy Mountains area as open to the public, routes for administrative use only, and routes to be closed and rehabilitated. It may also designate new routes to help meet the goals and objectives of the Las Vegas Resource Management Plan. The travel management plan will also identify what types of travel will be allowed on these routes, such as motorized, mechanized, and non-mechanized. The different types of route transportation is non-mechanized, which is moving by foot, stock, or pack animals, such as hiking, trail running, or horseback riding. We have mechanized, which is operating or equipment which has machinery that replaces human or animal labor, such as a mountain bike. And then we have motorized, which is a means of moving in a vehicle that is propelled by a motor, such as a car, truck, OHV, or motorcycle. This travel management plan is a very important step in implementing our land use plan for the Las Vegas field office. The inventory was completed in December of 2022 by Logan Simpson. The purpose of tonight's is to review that route inventory and provide input on the potential uses and resources of concerns that will be used in the environment and the evaluation process. Each route will be evaluated against a set of criteria to determine its use and whether it will remain open, limited to administrative use, or closed and rehabilitated. That is called the route designation. A series of alternatives for each route designation will be developed. The environmental assessment will be part of the planning stage and will analyze the impacts of the implementing the different alternatives. The draft travel management plan and environmental assessment will be ready for review later this fall. There will be a public review and comment period for the public to provide feedback on the draft travel management plan and environmental assessment. After the public comment on the draft document, a final travel management plan and environmental assessment will be prepared, followed by an administrative review. A decision of record is released, and then we may start the implementation stage of the travel management process. I'll now turn it over to Casey to go over this process a little bit more in depth.
Thanks, Kenny. And my name's Casey Smith, and I'm with Logan Simpson, and I was actually one of the inventory crew out on site doing the route inventory back in December of 2022. And when we were out there over the course of a week or so, we documented about 250 miles of the route network. We captured a little over 2,500 geotagged photos that documented route conditions, facilities, or infrastructure associated with the route network, such as signs, gates, any type of transportation-related features out there. We also documented where routes went, what their observed purpose was, and any other unique features that we observed. In the route data, we collected the width, surface material, how they were established, if there's any erosion, severe issues with the route that can affect difficulty level or the use level. And we also documented that, of course, one of the routes out there is the only designated route, and that is the Bitter Springs Backcountry Byway. Each route being considered for inclusion into the designated travel network must be evaluated individually against the established criteria. This detailed process involves determining evaluation criteria and utilizing GIS to organize and assist with the analysis. The route evaluation process will be customized for the Muddy Mountains to ensure its relevance to local conditions, uses, and management. Past planning guidance plus public input will help the BLM interdisciplinary team determine the evaluation criteria. The draft travel management plan will include a route evaluation report, which details the results of the evaluation on a route-by-route basis. The travel management plan will work to create a sustainable travel network that includes roads, primitive roads, and trails. The planning process includes scoping, preparation of a travel management plan, and preparation of an environmental assessment in compliance with the National Environmental Policy Act. The travel management plan includes implementation steps such as mapping, restoration, enforcement, and monitoring. And now we're going to go through a tutorial on how to use the ArcGIS online commenting map. And while we open this map, I want to remind everyone that this is not the only way to comment. You can submit written comments via email, mail, or on the ePlanning website, which will be shared in some upcoming slides. So the ArcGIS online map, whenever you click on the link that is going to be placed in the chat, you will open up to this page and you can click the Get Started button at the bottom of the page. And this is going to open up to an overview of the Muddy Mountains travel management area. So you can see Overton in the northeast corner of the map, and then Vegas, is about 50 miles to the southwest. So in the upper left-hand corner of the map, you'll see the Legend button. And if you click on the Legend button, this is going to display all the items that are shown on this map. The first three items are comment points, comment lines, and comment polygons. And I'll go over in a minute how to create those. But for now, we're going to scroll down to the fourth item, which are the blue lines, which is the Muddy Mountains route inventory data. This is the data that we collected back in December of 2022. The orange line, which is the Muddy Mountains inventory boundary, is our planning area boundary. We want to receive comments within this boundary. And if you scroll down a little more, you'll see surface management. These show all the colors that are shown on the map. The light yellow color is BLM. We are seeking comments on the route network on BLM land within the Muddy Mountains boundary. And the last item I want to point out is the green polygon that's kind of in the southwest corner. That's the wilderness area, the Muddy Mountains wilderness area. We did not inventory anything in this because it is closed to OHVs. So it is kind of excluded from this commenting area. The second button down on the left side, you'll see the base map gallery. And this is where you can change your base map from a topographic map to imagery to a street map. And that will help you explore the area and become more familiar with it. If you click on the third item down, the details button, this walks through a step-by-step process of how to use this commenting website. It also includes a link back to the BLM NEPA register where you can submit written comments. If you click on the fourth button down, which is the layers button, this is where you can turn on and off each layer individually. So you can turn off the inventory lines to where you can see the imagery below. You can also turn off surface management and wilderness to help navigate the map in a more clear manner. Each item can be turned on and off by clicking on the eyeball button. And the very bottom item on the left is the edit button. This is the section of the commenting tool where you can create comment points, you can create comment lines, and you can create comment polygons. So for this example, we will create a comment point. So if you click on new feature next to the orange dot, and then go over to the map and click on a location where you want to provide a comment. It could be at a popular camping area or a scenic overlook that you like to go visit. We want to hear your comments. We also want to hear about any multi-user conflicts that you've observed out there or any other issues related to the travel network. Once you click on the map and create a comment point, you'll see on the left side, it brings up a dialog where you can enter your name and your comment. In a few slides from now, we'll go through the process of how to make an effective comment. But for now, we will just leave that blank. And at the bottom, you would press the create button, the blue button at the bottom, to record your comment. Once you click create, your comment is saved in the project database and it is recorded and will be used in the route evaluation process. If you click the back button up next to create features, you can, please don't discard your edits. We want to record your edits, but for this example, we're going to discard edits. And you can create lines, which is the second one down. You can create a comment line. So if you see a route or you know of a route out there that we might have missed during the inventory, you can click on new feature and then click on the map. And every click you make will drop a vertice and you can draw a line on the map. And tell us about this route that we might have missed or any other feature out there that is best represented by a line. You would provide your name and comment in the same way and hit the blue create button at the bottom to record it. And the process for submitting a comment polygon is the exact same. So you could identify a popular dispersed camping area or a trash site that you might have observed out there. So we look forward to seeing your comments on this map. And with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Christina.
Thanks, Casey. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Steve. Great presentation. So now we're going to start the question and answer session. I'd like to remind everyone that we'll be using the Q&A feature. This feature is located at the bottom of your Zoom screen. You may have to toggle your mouse to get the toolbar to pop up. So you can type your question into the Q&A box, and a specialist will be able to answer that. We'll answer them either live or type an answer back to the entire audience. Love that. Right this time, we have no questions. So I'll give you guys a minute to think about any fun questions you may have. We don't have any call-in voter or call-in participants tonight. Once you enter your question, we'll take a minute to sort of digest that, get it to the right specialist. Go ahead and type any more questions in there. We'll start addressing them as we can, but we can tackle multiple questions at one time. Penny, can you help us answer these first questions? So in reference to the route inventory, what type of vehicle was used for the process? Motorcycle, on foot, or full-sized vehicle, or side by side?
So yes, Logan Simpson was out there for about a week, and they had three motorcycles out there collecting the route data.
Thanks, Kenny. Kevin, I think that answered both of your questions, but if there was more to that first question, please type in additional information in there. We only have 3 attendees on, so if there's not too many questions, we'll move into the comment period, but we'll give it a little bit longer to ask any questions. So if you have a question that you want answered before you give your official comment, go ahead and ask those now so we can get you teed up to give your comment. Elias, thanks for your question. Curious as how many folks are attending. We have 4 attendees on tonight. Thanks, Carl, for joining us. We're in the question and answer period. We just wrapped up a presentation, which will be posted. The recording will be posted on the BLM's National Environmental Policy Act planning page after this meeting, along with the presentation materials. So you can review the recording and a link to the presentation. The Q&A session that you can answer. You can put any questions that you have in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So we're just kind of working through the questions that we've gotten so far. Okay, so my next question for Kenny is, in the route collection, what was the team working from east to west or west to east?
Thank you for that. Logan Simpson, they started in the north and worked to the east. They were camping near Crystal, and then they moved down to the south to inventory from the national park side of things. Details of the inventory are in the KMZ files with comments on it, which can be found on the NEPA webpage.
Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, so there's details on surface, use level, difficulty, established purpose, and go ahead and okay, we don't have any other questions at this time. Give it maybe another minute or two to answer any or to ask any questions that we can get answered for you ahead of the formal comment period. Thanks again for joining us and being part of this virtual public meeting. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move into the comment period. As we do move into that comment period, if any questions do come up, you can continue to put those in the Q&A and we can answer them throughout the rest of the meeting. So go ahead, you can still put some questions in there, but we'll take your formal public comment at this time. Before we start that public comment session, we'd like to go over a few tips for effective comments. The BLM's Las Vegas field office is in the initial stage of identifying issues and reviewing the route inventory for the Muddy Mountains Special Recreation Management Area Travel Management Plan. Comments during the scoping period will be used to prepare the travel management plan and environmental assessment. So we are interested in your comments on what data we should analyze, what types of trails are out there, where you go, why do you go there, how would you like to use these trails and routes? So provide your input on existing travel network, identify any missing trails or inaccuracy, and continue to tell us about those resource concerns that should be considered during that evaluation process. Be sure to be as specific and concise as possible. If you can reference a ID or a route ID or a specific area on that comment map, or in the KMZ file, please do so. Focus your comments on specific areas, give us information about your destination or purpose of that trail or road, and provide us with any information that we haven't considered so far. We will now move into the formal comment session. Again, if you have any questions, continue to put those in the Q&A. We'll answer any questions, but if you have an official comment, we'll take those now. I will remind everyone that your microphone will remain closed until you have been called on. We will display the list of ways to comment again following the comment session, and a link to the National NEPA Register will be posted in the chat. I'm now going to going to read through the instructions for the participants who indicated they wanted to offer a comment when they registered. Input will be accepted in that order. We will also call out the name of commenters who are next in line. When you hear your name called out, please use the raise hand feature so that we know you're available and ready to offer your input. You can access the raise hand feature by clicking on the participants list icon, which is located at the bottom of your screen. If you move your mouse back and forth at the bottom of the screen, the icon should appear. Click on the participants icon and select raise the hand feature located at the bottom of the participants list. You may need to exit out of your full screen mode. Once you've raised your hand, you will then be unmuted to provide your comment. If your audio is not working, you may need to check the unmute button and ensure that you address any comments that come up about unmuting your microphone. Once you've confirmed audio, please spell out your first and last name for the recording before providing your verbal public comment. And if you're representing an organization or a group, please say so. We ask that you be mindful of other commenters, and be respectful of the time, and do not use inappropriate language. Each commenter will have 2 minutes to provide their verbal comment. If you do not feel you're able to complete your verbal comments today, you can put them in writing. If we have some more time, we can go back and finish those who may have more comments. Some registrants may already had their questions answered and dropped off. We have 2 of the 4 already dropped off. So we will go through the list of registered commenters, but if they're not online, we'll move forward quickly to make sure that everyone on the line still has the opportunity to comment. Again, we'll ask you to spell your first and last name, and then give you notice when you're ready to start the time. Okay. We'll go in this order. I think Kevin and then Carl, you maybe said maybe. So Kevin, if you're ready to give your comment, please raise your hand and I will unmute you. Hi, Kevin, you should be able to hear us now. Please go ahead and spell your first and last name for the record, and I'll let you know when you can begin your comment.
Name is Kevin Bailey, KEVIN BAILEY.
Thanks, Kevin. You can go ahead and start your time.
My name is Kevin Bailey, as I stated. I represent Vegas Valley Four Wheelers, a 501c nonprofit organization located here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am also an SRP permit holder for an annual event that is hosted in Logandale Trail System. And we do utilize the Bitter Springs Backcountry Byway area in our trails that we currently are utilizing. In the Buffington Pockets area of the Bitter Springs Backcountry Byway, there currently is no open OHV area that has been designated. There's only the 2 routes that go through that area that stay south of the dam. We would like to see that particular area, and we have submitted a map, be open to OHV due to the wonderful terrain for the full-size vehicle and the OHVs from side-by-side UTV, ATVs, and motorcycles. We'd like to see that become an open OHV area. One of the things that is not addressed in any of this as they're talking is e-bike. And we'd like to keep that away from this area and keep this to motorized recreation, foot traffic, and equestrian. Thank you for your time and appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin. Carl, you'd be next up. If you're interested in providing a comment, please go ahead and raise your hand and I can unmute you. If you're not interested and you don't need to provide a comment, but we do not have any other pre-registered folks to give comments. So if anyone else on the phone or on the line would like to give comments at this time, please raise your hand. Kevin, I'm gonna lower your hand. At this time, we'll take any public comments from those folks that are still on the line who would like to, if you would like to provide your comment, please raise your hand. And again, we're still taking questions. So if you want to put the questions in the Q&A box, we can still get those answered for you. Go ahead and do that. Okay. Don't see any other questions at this time or any other folks who have raised their hand to provide comments. So thank you all. Okay. Okay, with no other commenters who have raised their hands or any question and answer, we will conclude the public comment session. We'll do a short wrap up here on information on how to comment for the remaining of the public scoping period. However, this concludes our presentation and public comment session. We will stay on until 8 p.m. to answer any further questions. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put those in the Q&A as I wrap up and provide our final slide. And then I'll pass it over to Steve to give any closing comments.
Thanks, Christina. And I do want to thank everybody for your participation tonight. We do appreciate your involvement and thanks for spending some time with us. We will keep the meeting open until 8 o'clock tonight. And so if you do have any additional comments you want to make, just please raise your hand. We'll keep an eye out for that. And then we will continue to monitor the question and answer box and answer any questions through that. So thanks again and have a good rest of your evening.
Thanks, Steve. The scoping period for the Muddy Mountains Special Recreation Management Area Travel Management Plan began on April 12th, 2023 and ends on May 12th, 2023. Comments, including anonymous comments, will be accepted at any time. Other comments will be accepted at any time throughout the process. Those submitted by May 12th will be most helpful in development of the plan. We thank you for your participation. If you wish to provide a public comment, please use these following methods. Again, we'll put this in the chat. You can review additional information and get updates on the BLM National NEPA Register. You can provide those route-specific comments on the online comment mapping tool and review the route inventory network on the ArcGIS Online link. The link will also be posted on the BLM National NEPA Register page. General comments can also be mailed or emailed to the Las Vegas field office at Attention Kenny Kendrick, 4701 North Torrey Pines Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89130, or emailed to BLM_NV_MT_TMP@BLM.gov. Again, we'll put that in the chat for your information. And thank you for your time tonight. This concludes our comment period and our presentation. I'm going to go ahead and stop the presentation. And like Steve said, we will be on here for the allotted time advertised. Oops, I just see question real quick. Kenny, do you want to take the next question on will there be a link available to share this recording? Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. Kevin, your question was answered in the question and answer box.